Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. Today I want to work on sulfur, sulfuric acid, and batteries. I've set aside these two squares, this one to do these three products, and then I also set aside this one next to it to make engines and electric engines. I'm starting to feel more and more like I might need more squares on my grid, but we'll see how this goes. Now, the reason I'm doing these three together is, pretty simple. We've got sulfur, which needs water and petroleum. Sulfuric acid needs the sulfur plus water plus iron plate. And then the batteries need the sulfuric acid plus iron plate plus copper. So I think it makes sense to make all these together. And we will need to export all three products because we need sulfur for chemical science packs. That's something that's new with... I think that recipe changed when version 0.17 came out, that you needed sulfur for blue science packs. So if you look at Alexi's map, his map was built in version 16, so he doesn't actually have any sulfur leaving any of the grids. But in this case, we're gonna have to do that for the blue science. And then we also need the engines for blue science. So that's why I want to focus on these two first. We get the blue science packs up and running, and we'll be one step closer towards our goal. And then the engines, of course, for the engine units, we're going to be bringing in steel and iron to make the engines themselves. And then with the addition of electronic circuits and lubricant, we'll get the electric engine units. Okay, so we try to group things as much as we can where they make sense. So I've already set up the input stations. So I've got water, I've got petroleum, I have iron, and I have copper. Now if I look at my planner, I suppose we should start first with the sulfur. And my planner says that for the whole base I need 1.7 chemical plants making sulfur. Okay, so I'm going to start with I'll start with just one chemical plant per column here, making the sulfur. And let's see, do we want to align? How do we want to align? Maybe I align like this. Let's go out one more pipe length. And we'll start there. Okay, let's do that. Okay, and then it would probably benefit us to bring this pipe in by one tile. Just to try to keep things more compact. Okay. So that'll give us sulfur, and this is going to give us 2 every second, which should be fine with a yellow inserter. No, we actually need, because we've got, all right, well, I guess it's a little too fast for basic inserter, so we'll use a fast inserter on the output. Okay, and then we're gonna put that on a belt rather than inserting directly into the next machine because we need to belt some out anyway. Okay. So for the sulfuric acid, we need 1/2 of a machine for the whole base right now. Okay, so we'll do one of these per column. And this is going to take sulfur, and then we're also going to need iron plates and water. Actually, I think I can move this closer. All right, that way we hook up the water. But we're going to need to get the acid out. Or maybe we go out this way. That could work. And this one needs, well, to run full speed, it needs 5 sulfur every second. But we're not actually going to be producing quite that much. Okay. And then the batteries, we need 4 total. So again, a single crafting plant. All right, so in this case, let's, yeah, this gets to be even simpler now. We just run it straight up like this. And then we need copper and iron. And then we will, how fast are these? These are 4 seconds. All right, so a yellow inserter on the output. There. So that'll give us all 3 products. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I need iron plate. Okay, well, no, that's fine. I just put another inserter here to get my iron plate for the acid. All right, so this will be a single belt. And I think we'll go... What if I did this? I don't know if I want to do that, because then I'm only pulling off of one side of the belt. Although, I might only pull off of one side of the belt, even if I... Alright. Okay. And then we can put one pole there and one pole there. And we'll throw in a light. And I think that's it. Alright, so I'm going to cut this pipe. And then I should be able to just copy this 8 times without having to change the belts from side to side. Let's see. Yes. Great. And then I'll need more belts, of course. And I think I might need... Do I need more chemical plants? Yeah, I think I do. I'll start crafting 10 more. Well, this turned out to be a very simple build. I do enjoy the challenge of trying to make things compactly, if you will. All right, what am I missing? Okay, yeah, more chemical plants and more belts. All right, let me go get some belts for my train while I wait for the chemical plants to finish crafting. Let me get all of them because I'm gonna have to get everything up to the top as well. Okay, and we should be done. Down here, I've started to pave the other side of the base. I've been continuing to clean things up here in the starter location. I've got a really big storage area now. I've been working on taking certain things out so that I only have one item per storage chest, which I like to see. This one is for solid fuel. I have that chest filtered for solid fuel so that if I ever dump solid fuel, it'll go into that chest and then it'll get put on the belt to go feed the trains. Yeah, so I've started to do that, and I'll continue to work on this in between episodes until I have both of these cells completely tiled, and then once I have acid and batteries and stuff, I can tear down the refinery here in the starter base as well because I won't need it anymore. I have been making some blue circuits. All right, looks like it's stopped. I've got 800 blue circuits. I've just been buffering some of those so that I can get a fusion reactor as soon as possible. Okay, down here I've been using substations for electricity. And actually I wonder, maybe I should start using those more. I could even... Would that get the bottom? Yeah, I could even do this whole part with substations. Why don't I do that? Let me filter medium power poles. Let's get rid of those. I'm not sure if it's cheaper to use these. I wonder what the relative cost is. Yeah, they do take red circuits. 1030, 1010. Yeah, it would take... I don't know. If I was going to cost these things, I would say we've got maybe 10 medium electric poles, equivalent to one substation. So I think it's probably more economical to use medium power poles rather than substations. But I do like how clean the build looks when you use the substations. Okay, let's see if this works. Right, now to begin with, we are probably going to consume all of the sulfur with the sulfuric acid plant. But I do need to get sulfur out. Okay, so let us work on a way. Let's see here. Okay, so here's what we can do. If we put that there, then half of our sulfur will get out. Okay, so let's do that. Yeah, otherwise every time we empty the sulfur tanks or the acid tanks, we're not going to have any more sulfur production, and that's going to be annoying. So we'll set it up this way, and that way half of the sulfur will go to the acid and half of it will pass through. Okay. All right, that looks good. Okay, so let's start. Let's start configuring our output stations. Okay. And I'm not going to bother cutting the belts this time. I'll just let it build in sections as I go up. That way none of these will get ahead of the others. For the iron and copper in this station, I set this up so that they will only call another train when we're down to half of a wagon. Okay, so I set that to 2,000 instead of the 4,000 default. And on the fluids too, I've got these set for half a wagon. I guess we use up water pretty quickly on this build. Interesting. That's 30 and 30. Well, I guess that makes sense. Oh, 100 water per cycle for the acid. Okay. Yeah, that's more than I realized. Okay. Let's build another row. And I am going to have to go back for pipe. Let's set that to 200. I should probably place a pump down at the bottom as well on the outputs. Let's do that. I only have one pump with me. All right, so let's get some pumps as well. I don't recall if I'm crafting pumps in the mall, but if I'm not, then I will. Yes, actually, I think that I am. All right, so we'll set that to 200, and then let's get some pumps. And then we'll also get rid of this wood that we're carrying. It's a good practice not to walk in between wagons of a train that's in automatic mode, Because if you're standing in the middle when the train decides to leave the station, you are going to die. And you might ask how I know that. It's happened to me many times. Okay. I still don't have any use for wood, but that's fine. There's not much wood that I'm going to be collecting anymore, and it's not going to be worth installing a mod just to get rid of one chest full of wood. I could feed that to the trains too, but then it's going to slow down my trains, which I don't want. Yeah, see, I'm making pumps here. Did I get them? Yes, I did. I got my pipes. I should probably grab some more belt just in case. In fact, I'll grab all the belt that I can, and I'll put half of it back in my train. Okay. I filled a wagon with landfill as well, in case we need that for when we're setting up mining outposts and stuff. Okay. I think I'll park over here this time. It'll be a little bit closer. So this is going fairly quickly, so I think with whatever time we have left, we can... Whoa, 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 whoa. What the heck happened here? I was over here copying this area. I don't know how it got deconstructed. Wow, that's scary. Okay, yeah, let's put the pumps down here. So I'll just put a single pump on the output, and that'll give us good pressure in these pipes. There we go, that's a quick way to do it. Yeah, sort of. I guess it's not that quick. Okay, good. Yeah, because we are going to have a fairly long run of pipe here, so I think the pumps are going to help with that. I wonder if I can craft belt immunity yet. No, I don't have it researched. Yes, I do have it researched. Why don't I see that? Okay, maybe it's not there. Okay, let me make one of those. Because I don't like sliding around when I'm walking on belts. That does mean yet another one fewer solar panel. Oops. I did add another RoboPort here, which you probably saw, just because I was noticing that I was very rarely depleting my batteries. So I figured I might be able to sacrifice 4 solar panels for more bots. Now, I'm not only losing 4 solar panels worth of charging, because by having the 4th RoboPort, I'm also increasing consumption. So it's a bigger hit on my power situation than it might seem like at first. Yeah, and I can see that now, you know, with some constant building. My batteries are starting to deplete. Okay, well, we'll just keep going. When they do start to get fairly low, I think what I'll do is I'll just start doing this manually. Doing belts and pipes in a straight line like this is not terribly difficult to do manually. If I still had the closest first mod installed, it might help with this too, to reduce some of the travel distances. Okay, and perhaps this is far enough because I need to build some stations up here to receive this stuff, and I'm not quite sure how far it's going to come out. So let's put a pause on this part of it, and let's get the stations built. Okay, so I'm going to need 1 fluid station and 2 solid stations. For the solids, I think I'm just going to do a simple setup like this, single chests. So in fact, I'll just copy this right from the station all the way back through both sets of inserters. And then we can do another one right there. And then we'll put the fluids as the third. Oh, you know what? Is that gonna... Okay, good. That's great. Okay, now I need to remove this signal. And we'll put one there. We'll put one there. And we'll put one right there. Okay. And that's going to be too close for that one. And it might be too close for this too. Yeah. Okay, let's try... Okay, so that works. Okay. All right. Not perfect, but it works. All right. So I'm going to move now these chests. So let's filter out stack inserters and chests. Whoops. And then I'm going to copy stack inserters and chests. Right? and that way we can move them wherever we want to. Why did I get power poles too? Okay. Maybe I should be doing substations here too. Okay, so once I get up here, I'm going to... Actually, what if I just move... I have the room here. Why don't I just... Let's see. Nah, either way, those belts are going to have to move because the two belts don't fit within the width of one station. So, all right. So let's start. I'll start placing the tanks for the acid, and then we'll figure out where the belts need to go. Okay. So that's where they would like to be. And I think we can do that. All right, that works. All right, and then that way the pipes can continue to go straight up. Okay. All right. And then, all right, if we take this, we could put one there, and we could put one there. Okay, nice. Let me delete some of these. Okay, so I just want to get rid of the rail so that I can move it precisely where I want it to be. Just going to be right there. All right. Okay. So now I will leave a little gap so that I can make sure that all this material starts flowing all at the same time. I'll copy that one at a time. That helps keep the bots focused. It'll keep the travel distances shorter, and then I'll be able to get more work done with less energy from my batteries. Ooh, and I'm out of belts again. I'm glad I loaded my train again. All right, and then once I shut this down, then I can pick up sulfur, or I could pick up sulfuric acid for my uranium mining from here, and I won't need to make it in the starter base anymore. So that'll be more stuff that I can tear down. And it'll be nice to have that area cleared, because I'm thinking I'll probably use the former starter base for a module factory. And I think as we start to expand, you know, we can do things in tiers. Because the beacons and the tier 3 modules need a lot of resources. So ideally we would start expanding the factory and using that expansion to make more of those construction materials. So what I'm thinking is maybe we'll just start mass producing level 1 productivity modules, for example, and then we can start to do the bigger builds with ghosts of where the beacons will go, and boost them all with just level 1 productivity modules and lots of machines. And I think that'll be a good way to start getting our production boosted while we work our way up. And then later on, we replace all the level 1 modules with level 3 modules. And then the level 1 modules that we take out, we take back to the module factory, and those will feed in to go into more level 3 modules. All right. Sweet. All right, and it looks like, well, yeah, 1 stack inserter is more than enough here. I mean, even emptying half a yellow belt, it doesn't have any problem. And then once all this backed up stuff goes away, you know, it's going to trickle down to a very small quantity coming through here. All right, so let's name these stations. So this is going to be, I want this to be sulfuric acid load. Well, I'll go ahead and name it that. I do have that other one back at the main base, but I'll shut that one down. Or I'll call that one sulfuric acid load 2. There we go. That way I won't get confused about needing to delete it. All right, and then this is going to be sulfur load. And this is going to be batteries load. Or battery. Okay. Cool. All right, so we're most of the way towards blue science packs. The only thing that we need now are engines. So let's get started on engines. I'm going to grab more rail. I suppose we can start making our input stations. Okay, where do I have a double junction on that side? Here's one, and it looks correct. All right, so I'm going to copy down to there. So we can start getting our input stations set up. All right, and then I need to remove this signal. You know what? And actually, we need a chain signal there too. That's better. Otherwise, if this signal's red, it's going to cross this track and block it. Okay, and I don't need those. The other benefit of having more roboports is not only that you get more bots, but they also cover a larger area. Okay, so for the engines, we are going to need, I think, 4 inputs. We're going to need steel and iron. Electronic circuits and lubricant. Okay, so do I have any place that already has 4 loading stations? That's 3. I kind of like this layout better than this one. Yeah, I'll copy this one and then we'll just add a 4th station. All right, so I'm going to copy from that power pole. Do I want all of that? Yes. I think I do want all of that. Because I am going to have 3 stations bringing in solid materials. So I think if I came all the way up to that splitter, it wouldn't be terrible. And in fact, let's go all the way back there. All right, and I am going to edit this slightly. Let me delete this because I don't want this. And even if I erase some of the rail down here from the blueprint, it doesn't matter because it already exists there physically. Okay. All right, and then that is going to go right there. And I probably will be nowhere near close to having all the materials I need for this, but let's see what happens. We'll get as much built as I can. I need to start requesting red undergrounds. As a matter of fact, maybe... No, I'm going to stay on yellow belts. I don't know. Maybe I should just switch over to red belts completely at this point. I think I will. I have a pretty high-powered mall down here. I should be able to keep up. You know, I've got all red belts of material coming in. So let's do that. Let's, yeah, I'm going to stop using yellow belts now. All right. So I can go back to requesting factories with that. It'll be great when I get more logistic request slots. Okay, and now I'm going to start using red belts instead of yellow. We'll make that 500, 100, 100. Okay, we'll do that exclusively. And, oops. You know, and we could say, well, at the volumes of production that we're running right now, we don't need that much, and of course that's true. Got a lot of extra red wire in here. Are these all connected? I might have to pull up all these chests and redo it. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I don't mind using red belts here because we're going to be, you know, eventually we're going to be rebuilding a lot of this with blue belts. You know, for the end game, we're going to be putting everything on blue belts, whether it needs it or not, just for the sake of simplicity. A lot of it will need blue belts. Most of it will need blue belts. But even if it doesn't, we're just going to use blue belts so that we don't have to worry about having multiple varieties of belts being carried around and assembled in the base. Okay, and by using red belts now, that just means that we're going to be upgrading from red belts instead of upgrading from yellow belts, which is fine, because the red belts will get recycled. They'll get turned into more blue belts. All right. Yeah, I definitely need more stuff. Chests. Oh, I need these requester thingies. I'll make a couple stacks of those. Yeah, it looks like this. A lot of the red wire got copied. So I think I'm going to pull up these chests and redo it just to get rid of all that extra red wire. Okay. And then I'll repaste them down without the red wire. All right, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to need one more station up here for the lubricant. I'm going to leave a little bit of extra room for belts. Ah, man. I never get that right. It's hard to judge where you need to start the turns. Okay, so I'll come at least as far back as here, plus one tile. All right, and then this is where we're going to need to put that 45-degree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to put it there. All right. Okay, and then I pick up that one, I put that one there, and that one there. And then I need to remove this one. Otherwise the stacker won't work. If I left this signal here, then as soon as any train got past this signal, the next train from the stacker would come down and block this junction, even if it's not the next train that's needed. So between the end of your stacker where you have the chain signals, you can't have any regular rail signals until the input for each specific station. Otherwise your stacker will not work properly. Okay, well, I think we got a good bit done today. I'm going to stop there. Keep this one a little bit less than an hour this time. All right, yeah, we're starting to accumulate a lot of sulfur, some batteries. Let's see how this 50-50 thing is working out. Yeah, great. Yeah, because I only needed 1.7 sulfur plants. If I divide 1.7 by 8, that's about like 0.2 per lane. 0.2, yeah, a little more than 0.2 per lane. So by having half of one, I've got 0.5. So I still have, even by splitting it, I still have more than enough to make all the sulfuric acid that I need at this point. So that all seems to be working just great. Cool. I rather like this build. It's fairly tidy. I suppose I could have moved it to the right by one tile. And then I would have had to shift the water over instead of the petroleum, but either way, it's good enough for me. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.